Thank you for watching this regional forecast for the Canadian Prairie. I'm Andrew Pritchard, meteorologist with Nutrien Ag Solutions. We're dealing with several waves of chillier weather here. We'll see some moderation as we head into next week, but still temperatures really struggling to get anywhere above normal as we talk about the trends over the next 7 to 10 days, and that's really a product of the jet stream pattern we've got. We'll take a look at the reasoning for that here in a moment. We have some snow to talk about over the next 48 hours, but that really is about it as far as large-scale, organized, accumulating precipitation here across the prairie. It's going to be a rather dry pattern to go along with these waves of chillier temperatures, and you can really see a dry corridor here through portions of central Alberta into central and southern Saskatchewan, and then southern Manitoba, where we've seen a bite even taken out of the snow that's moving through the area today, especially as you head off to the east into southern Manitoba. Quite chilly as we get the day started across the prairie. Temperatures anywhere from -10 to about -15, -18, -23 as you head up toward the Peace region. So you look at the satellite picture here early this morning. Some sunshine to be found, but really quite a bit of cloud cover, especially as we talk about areas off to the south and to the west, where we'll look for the snow to get going here across southern Alberta over the next 24 hours or so. Looking at already some light snow falling, probably in the Calgary area. That could expand over toward Medicine Hat by the end of the day today, and then we'll see the snow slowly pushing off to the east and to the southeast as we head into tonight and then tomorrow. We'll see that here with the high-resolution Canadian model. Again, that light snow already starting in some of the higher elevation areas towards the Front Range in southwestern Alberta, and then we'll see that expand here as we head through the day and then really into the overnight. By tomorrow morning, should have light snow falling across much of southern Alberta, pushing into southern and western portions of Saskatchewan, and then the heavier snow moving into southern Saskatchewan as we get into Saturday evening and then early Saturday night. This is really going to be kind of forced to the south. I should switch the color there by an area of high pressure off to the north, and that's what's kind of taking a bite out of the snow as you head off toward this area with those more significant accumulations falling in southern Alberta and then southwestern Saskatchewan. You can see that here just looking at taking things through about midnight on Saturday, so still not entirely done in this area, maybe picking up a trace, maybe a centimeter. But as you head over towards southwestern Alberta, that's where we're talking about 20 to potentially 40 centimeters on the high end in some of these local areas. It looks like still along and south of Highway 3 in southern Alberta, probably the hot spot for those 20 to 40 centimeter totals elsewhere. As you head off toward the north, toward Highway 16, probably talking about anywhere from 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. We'll look a little bit longer range here with the European model. This will take us through the event. So getting back to the day on Friday here, rather quiet except for southern Alberta. Same story as we head into the overnight. By tomorrow morning, heavier snow in southern Alberta pushing into southwestern Saskatchewan. This would be midnight on Saturday night, Sunday morning. Taking it into sunrise on Sunday now. Maybe some light snow in far southwestern Manitoba. This would be noon on Sunday evening, and now we're heading into Sunday night and Monday morning. At this point, we've got an area of low pressure off the screen to the top right here, and a front kind of extending back from that area of high pressure, sweeping through northern portions of the prairies, perhaps bringing some light snow flurries to areas north of Highway 16 Sunday and Monday, but that will not bring any significant accumulation down into the primary prairie region. So total snowfall through Monday, looking at the European model again, here are those light snow flurries that fall Sunday and Monday north of Highway 16, and then this is the accumulation hotspot for Friday and Saturday's snow. Again, as you get down toward the U.S. border with Montana, 20 to 40 centimeters. We'll go ahead and let's save the accumulation talk for a minute because I promise you I have the ensemble forecast there. Let's jump into the pattern that's driving this, and it is the ridge over Alaska that continues to take the jet stream up and over the top of it, and then doing something sort of like this, although at times, though, breaking these cutoff lows across the southwest. The point being, we're seeing a lot of troughing across this region with these lows kind of getting cut off across the southwestern U.S. It's allowing these waves of cooler air to sink into the region, but it's also keeping it a drier pattern here, as really, when we look at the primary precipitation forecast here in a moment, you're going to see it focused across this region where we're seeing the troughing and the energy being directed. So the area of high pressure towards Alaska keeps flow out of the north, and that's going to keep us on the cooler side, and it's also going to keep us from seeing too much in the way of deep moisture attached with any of these little systems that come sneaking through the area. So as we look at the next 10 days precipitation forecast, departure from normal, again, we see the more active area You can really follow the flow of the jet stream up and over at the top of that ridge. And then here's our southern stream, and that's keeping things very active here across the lower 48 of the United States, but a dry pattern here across a big chunk of the prairie, the exception being really where the heavier snow falls from this system over the next 48 hours. That is just about it as we look out into the future, which we'll do here using the longer range European model, taking a wider look at the entire northern half of North America here. Again, watching the snow that falls Friday and Saturday across this region. It's going to be the main event here, and again, here are the areas of high pressure that are kind of forcing this off to the south. Then we'll head into the later part of the weekend here, getting into Sunday. Here comes the front, bringing the light snow to areas north of Highway 16. Now we're taking it into Monday, Tuesday. High pressure dominating things here, flow out of the north, keeping it on the cooler side. Getting into Wednesday and Thursday now, all the way into Friday. And we're seeing storm systems kind of sneaking off south of the border here across the U.S. But really, as we take it in through next week, high pressure going to be dominating things and keeping things on the cooler side and quieter side across the Canadian prairie. So here's the total snow forecast over the next 7 days. And really, you can break it down by the Friday, Saturday snow right here. And then this is the Sunday and Monday snow north of Highway 16 that falls here as we get into the early part of next week. But a big wedge here that sees maybe a little, if any, snow over the next 7 days, or any precipitation as we deal with this pattern. So looking at the temperature trends again, seeing waves of cooler air make their way in, not locking into any sort of deep freeze, but also definitely not seeing any pushes of early spring air into the region. That is going to be confined to the eastern half of the U.S. But as we look at temperatures here, moderating at least back to near average, if only just a couple degrees below average. Those high temperatures getting back to zero by the time we get to Monday in Calgary. Same thing in Edmonton, getting back close to zero as we get into next week. Saskatoon climbing up slowly from negative 14 today, to negative 1 on Wednesday. Regina, a similar slow climb, climbing maybe, every day it's maybe 3 degrees warmer than it was the day before. Winnipeg, a little more steady here, not quite getting the brunt of that cold air that's making its way in here over the last, 48 hours or so, but slowly climbing back to near zero by the time we get to the middle and later part of next week. Have a wonderful